Driving a Tesla can be overwhelming with all the features and technology that comes with the car. So maybe you're a new owner or you're renting a Tesla and just want to know how to drive it for the first time. We're going to go over everything you need to know and make it simple for you to be able to do that. So first and foremost, to get in and out of the car and to lock and unlock the car, Tesla will provide you with a key card like this here. You want to gently place it below this pillar camera right here, and that will lock and unlock your Tesla. You will know when it's locked and unlocked by the mirror folding and unfolding. And do note this only works on the driver's side. If you're on the passenger side and try to lock or unlock it, there's no sensor here and it will not work. Now once the car is unlocked, the door handles are pretty unique and different than most other cars. To open them, the easiest way is to push in one side with your thumb, the other side pops out. Just grab that and pull it open. And now to get out of the car, there's a button right here next to the handle with the door open icon. All you have to do is tap that button and the door will open, just give it a push. Now the doors are electronic release, but there is a manual release as well in case of an extreme circumstance like a bad accident where the electronics go out. In that case, you can grab the emergency handle down here below, just pull it up and the door will open with the manual release. Now the car is already on, but the way to be able to put the car in drive and drive the car, we want to get this key card and tap it in this spot right between the cup holder here. And once you've done that, you don't have to keep the key card there the whole time. You can put it wherever you want and you'll be able to put the car into drive. Now the gear shifts are pretty simple, and just like most other cars, you want to put your foot on the brake, the car will turn on, then you can shift into drive by pushing the stalk down, reverse by pushing the stalk up, or put it in neutral by going slightly down. And then to put the car in park, there's a button on the side of the stalk. You would just tap that for park. Now if you have a newer model and there's no stalks, you would just change gears by swiping up or down on the touchscreen here. I do want to pause here for a second and mention, if you haven't already, you want to be able to set your phone as your key so you can completely eliminate the need for this key card. With your phone as your key, the car will lock and unlock based on your proximity to it. And then if you have your phone as your key, once you get in the car is ready to go. You can put it in drive and go ahead and drive. So there's no need for the key card if you set up your phone as your key. And that is by far the easiest way to get in and out of and drive your Tesla. Now when it comes to actually driving the car, the Tesla is not that much different than any other car except for one major thing, and that is the regenerative braking. So just like any other car, the Tesla has a brake pedal and an accelerator pedal, but the difference is that you'll never really use the brake pedal unless you need to slam on the brakes, because what regenerative braking is when you let loose of the accelerator, let off just a little bit, you'll feel the car decelerate at quite a big rate, which almost makes it feel like the car is braking. And this regenerative braking makes the Tesla so much more efficient because what it does is sends energy back into the battery while it does this. And this is what you would call one pedal driving, and it's something to get used to, but once you do get used to it, it makes driving so much easier. And if you're curious, don't worry, I was curious too. Yes, when you let off the accelerator pedal, even if you don't touch the brake, if you decelerate at a certain rate, the brake lights will still come on. But outside of that, driving is pretty much the same. For your blinkers, you have the left stalk here. You push down to turn left, you push up to turn right. If you have a newer model with no stalks on the wheel, there's buttons on the steering wheel for your left and right turn signals. Now I'll go over some settings at the end, but while we're here talking about turn signals, there's a setting I highly recommend turning on right away, and that is the blind spot indicator. So when you turn the turn signal left or right, Tesla will show you the live camera, so it makes changing lanes just so much easier. Now you may have heard that Teslas can drive themselves, and while that is somewhat true and somewhat not true, the important distinction is to understand autopilot versus full self-driving. So autopilot is what comes standard in every single Tesla for free. What it is it will keep you in your lane, keep you a certain distance from the car in front of you, keep you at a certain speed, and do all your driving for you, and it's meant for those highway roads, because full self-driving, on the other hand, is a paid upgrade, and that's the one that will stop at stop signs, change lanes for you, make turns for you, and do the completely full self-driving. So if you want full self-driving, that's a paid upgrade, but for standard autopilot on those highways, that easy driving, it comes standard free on every single Tesla. And autopilot is a setting you do have to go into the settings and turn on. If you have a brand new Tesla, it will take a few miles to calibrate, then after that, you can use autopilot. And after you enable autopilot, in order to use it, you want to tap down on the stalk twice, You can make it once if you go into your settings if you want to do that, or if you have a car with no stalks, there's an autopilot button right on the steering wheel. And then to disengage autopilot, the easiest way is to give a light tap on the brake, but make sure you have your hands ready to take over and steer the wheel. Now when it comes to charging, if you're charging at home, you can use any outlet to charge your Tesla. And I mean any outlet. The same 120 volt outlet you would use to charge your iPhone will also charge your Tesla. Now whether you're at home or just like here at a supercharger, to open the charge port, there's a button on the charger. You would just tap here and the charge port will open. And if for some reason the button's not working, if the car is unlocked, you can just tap on the charge port and it will open. Now if you're at home, if you just plug in, it should start charging and work just like that. If you're at a supercharger, as long as you have your payment information set up in the app, you can just plug in and it'll work just like that here too. Now when you open the charge port, you'll see a lit up Tesla logo here. If it's white, that means it's ready to charge. When you plug it in, it should turn blue. That means the car is reading the charger. And then when it turns green, the car is charging. Now I did mention you can charge your Tesla on any outlet, and that is true. However, if you want to upgrade your at-home charging, you do have some options. Some people install a NEMA 1450 charger or install a Tesla wall connector. If you go that route, I will recommend beforehand, make sure your garage or your home circuit breaker can actually handle it. We tried to upgrade our outlet just because we had referral points. We redeemed it for a Tesla wall connector. And we couldn't put it in because our house was too old to the point where it cost like thousands of dollars to upgrade our whole house electricity. So we didn't do that. So to make sure you're not in our situation, make sure you can handle the increased amps beforehand. But if you want to use a standard outlet, that's totally fine. You should get enough battery if you charge overnight for your daily driving for most days, unless you go on a big long road trip. I will recommend, in that case, get the mobile wall connector, plug into any outlet, but do check your outlet in your garage because again, in our case, we were using a standard outlet, but I found that we have this connector or this outlet in our garage. So we bought this adapter for our mobile connector. And we were able to get a faster charge by just getting this here. And lastly, I'm no electrician, but just check what's in your garage, and Tesla will have some sort of adapter where you can plug into your garage or your apartment charging or whatever you have access to in terms of outlets. Now there's a ton of technology in this car and a bunch of different settings that you can go into and play with. I have a separate video on some of those, but I want to go over 3 settings that you should turn on almost immediately to make your driving experience so much easier. And the first of those is to set your driver profile if you haven't already, because that will save your seating position, your mirrors, your steering wheel, but also all of your logins to your apps like your YouTube and your Netflix and a bunch of other different settings. So if you haven't already, set one for yourself, but also if you own the car, set one for other people who will be driving the car as well. If you have a spouse or a partner, give them their own as well so they won't mess with your settings. And a pro tip here, if you have other people like friends or family who want to drive your car, you can make a guest profile. So if they want to play with things, it won't mess up any of your or your partner's settings. Now secondly, the one I recommend turning on is the walk away door lock. This is just for convenience sake, but you know how I mentioned earlier how the car will lock or unlock based on your proximity? Well, to be able to just walk away from the car and have it automatically lock, you want to make sure you enable this setting because the car will sense how far away your phone is, and once it's a certain distance away, it will automatically lock for you. And there's also a cool option here to turn it on or off while you're at home. So if your car is in your garage and you want it to just be unlocked, you don't have to worry about it, you can turn it off at home. And the last thing to turn on once you get the car, the best feature in our opinion is Sentry Mode. So as you may know, Teslas are equipped with a ton of cameras. So what Sentry Mode is that when your car is parked, it will have sensors on so that if somebody or something comes close to your car, it will start recording from 7 different angles and 7 different cameras. Now this feature has saved us in our case, so if you're parked at a grocery store and somebody or something door dings your car, you'll be able to have that footage recorded in your car so you can see exactly what happened and hopefully who did it. Now do note that this feature does take up some battery, so I recommend if you're safe parking at home in your garage, you have an option to turn it off in some places. So I recommend doing that, but I highly recommend turning it on because the last thing that you want is being parked at a grocery store and someone door dinging your car and just not knowing what happened. And one more thing that's pretty cool with Sentry Mode, you can actually view these cameras live from your Tesla app. You can even view inside the cabin or any of these angles outside the cabin. So if it's your first time driving a Tesla, I hope you found this video helpful. If you're in the market for a new Tesla but haven't yet made your purchase, I would kindly ask of you to consider using our referral code, link down below. You'll save up to $1,000 off the purchase of a brand new Tesla for yourself. And if you want more content like this, make sure you subscribe down below. But as always, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.